it's Ash from Super Videos back for another video for The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the bonus episodes that are going to be a part of Season 10. For those of you that don't know, they announced that Season 10 will have 6 additional bonus episodes that will air in early 2021. We actually have a release date for these episodes as well, but also we do have the titles and synopsis for these 6 episodes, which are going to be 1017 to 1022. So with that said, let's just dive right into this. The first thing I want to show you is this image that they released, which is actually the titles for these episodes. Now, the first thing that we see is that it says The Walking Dead returns February 28th, 2021. So yes, we will have these bonus episodes airing as early as February 28th, which is awesome. And I think they said for those who have AMC Premiere, you can start watching as early as the 23rd, but don't quote me on that. I don't remember the exact date. But with that said, let's dive right into it. So episode 1017, which is the very first bonus episode, will be called Home Sweet Home. We actually did get a table read from this episode, and I think the episode after a few weeks ago, and we covered that on the channel. They actually released a table read for 2 other episodes, 1019 and 1020, which I will do separate videos on. Those will be released later today. 1017, which is called Home Sweet Home, will be a Maggie-centric episode. And it will most likely not only tell us what Maggie's doing now and how she's feeling now, and it will showcase Maggie and Negan's conversation, their first conversation after Maggie confronted him back in season 9. But other than that, we will also see what Maggie's been up to before, during the time when she was gone, when she left back in season 9. Episode 1018 will be called Find Me. We saw parts of this in the same table read that they released as well. And we do know that this episode is going to be a Daryl and Carol episode. You could say that this episode is like a tease at the 4th spinoff, which is entirely dedicated towards Daryl and Carol's characters. So that's going to be interesting. Then episode 1019 is called One More. This is an interesting episode. This episode is going to be about Father Gabriel and Aaron. They're going to be on a supply run or something along those lines, and there is a very interesting casting for this episode, which I'll talk about in the other video that I'm doing. Then episode 1020 is going to see us back at the end of season 10 episode 16, exactly where we left off, where we have Eugene, Ezekiel, Yumiko, and Princess being captured by a group of mystery characters who of course are not mysterious for comic readers, but for non-comic readers they're definitely out of place and mysterious. And in this episode, we're gonna see what happened to them when they were captured. Like I said, the table read for this episode was released as well, and I will do a video on that today as well. Episode 1020 is called Splinter, which is an interesting and weird title for an episode, to be honest. Episode 1021 is called Diverged, and much like 1018, this episode looks like it's also gonna be a Carol and Daryl centric episode, which is interesting. Then episode 1022 is called Here's Negan. No one's surprised. I mean, that was like the most expected title for an episode. Obviously, we did know that we are gonna see a Negan centric episode and that they will be bringing the Negan backstory from the comics, which was also called Here's Negan, into the show. And they did kind of reveal a few days ago, like a week ago, that Lucille, Negan's wife, was cast, and the person playing Negan's wife, Lucille, is none other than Jeffrey Dean Morgan's wife. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is the person that plays Negan. So Negan's wife plays Jeffrey Dean Morgan's wife, Hillary Burton, which is very interesting. But that's pretty much it for these titles. Now I will go through the description or synopsis for these episodes just so that we have a better idea of what type of an episode we're gonna see. Starting off with episode 1017, which is called Home Sweet Home, which, like I said, is a Maggie-centric episode. The description reads, Maggie has returned with a story she's not ready to share, even when her past catches up to her. That's interesting. That's the only part of this synopsis that got me extremely interested. Negan's safety is at stake again, and I'm assuming that Maggie's return has something to do with that. Daryl and Maggie fight an unseen and unknown threat. That's also very interesting. Not exactly sure what to expect from that. I don't think that they're gonna be doing anything extremely big in terms of introducing new villains in these bonus episodes, but I'm interested to see what that's about. And then it goes on to say who it was directed and written by. I don't recognize any of those names, so either I just don't remember seeing their name anywhere, or it's their first time directing and writing for The Walking Dead, which could be a good thing and a bad thing. Depends on what they do and how it turns out. Obviously, I'm not going to judge it when I haven't seen it, but the table read we did see looked amateurish, to say the least. It looked like it was a fanfic, but at the same time, maybe I'm just jumping into conclusions, so I won't say anything and judge it until we see the episodes. But from what I saw in the table read of this particular episode, I was not thrilled, and it did disappoint to an extent. Then episode 1018 is called Find Me, which, like I said, is a Daryl and Carol centric episode. The description reads, an adventure for Daryl and Carol turns sideways when they come across an old cabin. It takes Daryl back to the years when he left the group after Rick disappeared, as he relives a time that only the apocalypse could manifest. That's interesting. Again, depending on how they do it, this has a chance of being a bottle episode, but there's a chance that this could be an actually interesting episode that takes us back in time a little bit and gets us to see another perspective of the time period where Rick was gone. Episode 1019 is called One More, which, like I said, is an Aaron and Father Gabriel centric episode. Gabriel and Aaron search for food and supplies to bring back to Alexandria. Small tragedies lead to bigger tragedies as faith is broken and optimism is fragmented when they're put to the ultimate test, which is extremely interesting. Then episode 1020 is called Splinter, which, like I said, takes us back to the exact time when 1016 ended, when Eugene, Yumiko, Ezekiel, and Princess were captured by this mysterious group. The description reads, Eugene, Ezekiel, Yumiko, and Princess are captured and separated. Princess struggles with memories of her traumatic past and tries to escape one way or another with the help of Ezekiel. That's pretty much it. This, to me, is the least interesting description from all of the descriptions we've read, and it leads me to think that maybe it's one of the maybe less exciting episodes of the season, the bonus bundle, but again, I could be wrong about that. But then again, maybe it's because I've read the comics and I know what's coming up, so I'm not really excited for them teasing this thing any more than they have so far. But we're gonna have to wait and see what they do. Then episode 1021, which is called Diverged, which is another Daryl and Carol centric episode. Daryl and Carol come to a fork in the road and head their separate ways, each going into their own type of survival mode. The easiest of challenges becomes much harder, with their individual journeys be the tipping point needed to mend their friendship, or is the distance between them permanent? Again, that's another episode that has a chance of being a very slow bottle episode, but we're gonna have to wait and see. Then, episode 1022, Here's Negan, which is a very, very fitting title. Carol takes Negan on a journey, hoping to minimize the increasing tension, and I'm assuming that the increasing tension is between Negan and Maggie. Negan reflects on the events that led him to this point and comes to a conclusion about his future. That's very interesting. So obviously, seems like the way they're gonna tell the Here's Negan story is for Negan to open up to none other than Carol, which is interesting. There's a chance that they could have Negan open up to Maggie, but I doubt it. The way the description is worded leads me to think that it is in fact Negan opening up to Carol and telling her his past, which takes us back to the Here's Negan and Negan's backstory and all of that. Then, there's another bit at the end of this that says, Here's Lucille. Fans have speculated for a while that one of the bonus episodes would contain Negan's backstory, and Negan's fans were thrilled to learn just recently that Jeffrey Dean Morgan's real-life spouse, Hilary Burton Morgan, was cast as Negan's wife, Lucille. So I talked about that earlier. But with that said, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to cover. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to share and smash the like button. It helps a ton because it helps the YouTube algorithm push up this video to the top so that it's seen by more people. So I appreciate if you guys can all like this video if you did enjoy the content. Also, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to join our Walking Dead family and make sure to press the bell to receive notifications about daily uploads. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.